We can shut off these lights if you need to.
It's fine. It's not doing anything.
Can we get a mic check on 1? Okay, Kat, if at any time during the interview you're feeling uncomfortable, you just let us know, okay?
Yep. Hi, I'm Kat, and this is my story with myopericarditis. So I remember it was first semester exams, 2 weeks away. I was super stressed out, got sick around my birthday, and then got better. A week later, I played a volleyball game. I came home feeling completely fine, other than a little bit tired. I took a nap and woke up with some strange feelings in my chest. My mom just told me to take a shower. It should be nothing. Woke up the next day. The pain was significantly worse. I stayed home, found that positionally the pain got worse depending on if I was laying flat or sitting straight up. So either way, it was pretty uncomfortable. That day, I decided I was going to go to a clinic. I started feeling pain in the area of my liver, very strange. I didn't really think anything of it. Went into the clinic. The doctor actually asked me how much I had to drink that previous weekend. Threw me off a little bit, but after doing some assessments, she had established that it was acid reflux. So just take some Tums and stay away from the acidic food. So with that, and keeping in mind that I have exams in a week and a half, I went to school the next day. Pain was about a 5.5, 6 out of 10. And then I was in a study group after school, and then pain didn't get any better, so I decided that we should probably go to the hospital because it was likely a little bit more serious than just some acid reflux. I was admitted right away, and my dad came into the room with me. They hooked me up to an ECG, asked me some general questions, where's the pain? It was a dull, consistent, or persistent pain up through the sternum and across. Short of breath, really deep breaths were rather painful. And like I said, the pain in the area of my liver was nearly unbearable. So the doctor came in. He was going to make a few calls, and he'd be right back. He comes in maybe 10 minutes later and tells me that he called one hospital and he needed a second opinion, so he called another, and they decided they're going to send me overnight for observation.
So between the two doctors, were they able to give you a diagnosis at this point?
He did mention that my ECG did present similarly to a heart attack, but there were some slight indications that this was not the case. So just to be sure, they wanted to send me overnight. So off I went in an ambulance. They gave me some aspirin, and my chest pain nearly resided completely. I felt way better. So then I got to the hospital, and it wasn't until the next day that all of the tests started going, from ECGs to echocardiograms to blood tests. So I distinctly remember the afternoon when my cardiologist had established my diagnosis, which was myopericarditis.
We present to you the human heart. The heart is organized into several layers of tissue as depicted here in a healthy individual. Myopericarditis is a condition characterized primarily by the inflammation of the pericardium. This inflammation then affects the myocytes, or muscle cells, of the heart. As you can see in this animation, the pericardial cavity decreases in size and thus affects the cardiomyocytes.
It was me and my mom, the cardiologist, and the radiologist doing an echocardiogram. Me being a grade 12 science student, I was pretty interested in what was going on the screen. A lot of, different colors going on. So a Doppler to see how the blood flow, or how the blood was flowing through my heart. They did want to image the heart muscle to establish the myo aspect of the pericarditis. And they also wanted to make sure that the inflammation hadn't infiltrated and affected the valves of the heart. So they wanted to make sure that there was no regurgitation or backflow of the blood. And it was then that I was given 33% chance of needing a heart transplant, 33% chance that I would maintain my heart function, which at the time was 43%, and then a 33% chance that I would regain full heart function and go on to live my life. So given those stats, I was pretty fear-stricken. I remember sitting in the hospital bed and thinking how my life was going to change. If I had succumbed to the 66%, couldn't play soccer, I couldn't row my final rowing season. I couldn't do a lot of things that I really enjoyed. But my cardiologist was really good at noticing that these stats really scared me. And she kind of reassured me that given my age and my healthy, active lifestyle, that she was sure that everything would go in my favor. With me being on the different diuretics and beta blockers, I was only able to do 4 laps around the ICU before I was just too tired. But they did say that an MRI would kind of be the magic ball or the crystal ball to establish kind of my prognosis going forward and what that meant for me. So a MRI was booked for 3 months later. I was released from the hospital within 3 days of being diagnosed with myopericarditis. Rest was prescribed along with some other heart failure medications, whether that was bisoprolol, ramipril, some other diuretics. And then in a follow-up appointment, approximately 3 weeks later, I had regained complete heart function.
So what do you think is important for young individuals like yourself to know about cardiovascular conditions such as myopericarditis?
I think the big thing that stands out for me is my stress level. With me being a university student, I'm constantly under stress. Cardiovascular conditions can happen to just about anyone. I was really unlikely case for myopericarditis. If you're experiencing chest pain, it could be something minor, but it could be something as life-threatening as myopericarditis.